The Canadian Forces have recently converted two of their CC150 Polaris multi-role transport aircraft to air-to-air refuelers. I spoke with Aircraft Commander Major Steve Ashton about their role.
Essentially our job here is to refuel the fighter aircraft before they go into the battle, and they come out from Cold Lake up into the range, and by the time they reach us they've already used a few thousand pounds of fuel, and we would top them off with 4,000 to 5,000 pounds of fuel before they go in to attack various targets on the ground. And if necessary, we remain out here. If they've used a lot of fuel up, they can come back and get a top up before they return to base. So that's the primary role. We're also here getting some training done, because this is a new, relatively new concept. We're still training crews on the CC150 tanker, so we're getting some of our crews trained, and it's also good practice for the receiver pilots. They need to remain current while they do receive air-to refueling as well.
With the Boeing 707 going out of service in 1997, the Canadian Forces lost their ability for strategic refueling, such as transoceanic, taking 4 F-18s across the Atlantic Ocean to Europe, for example. The Hercules is a very good tactical tanker, low-level, short range, but it can't do the distance involved. Of the 5 CC-150 Canadian Forces aircraft, 2 have been converted to multi-role tanker capability. By equipping the CC-150 with air-to-air refueling, the Canadian Forces has regained its strategic tanking capability. Major Ashton describes a transoceanic mission.
The aircraft is designed to have enough fuel on board to take 4 F-18s from the east coast of Canada across into Europe. We have a planning system which allocates certain periods of time to each F-18, and they have to take on board a certain amount of fuel in that period. Then they'll disconnect, go back out and fly a loose formation with us across the Atlantic, flying around the 28,000 feet, 30,000 feet, doing around 300 knots. And then when it's time for the next F-18 to come in and take fuel, we simply call him in, he makes contact, takes his allocated fuel, disconnects, and so the routine goes on as we cross. Typically the F-18 would need 3 of those sort of brackets crossing the Atlantic to make it to Europe.
An exercise as large as Maple Flag, with so many other nations' air forces participating, affords a varied training environment.
It's a great opportunity, and it's also a bit of an eye-opener to the crews to operate with so many other agencies. It's a great opportunity to practice all the operational techniques which we don't routinely use on a day-to-day basis. A lot of our tanking is what we might call administrative tanking, which is maintaining currency for receiver pilots, so flying up to Bagotville or Cold Lake and just giving fuel in a very contained training environment. So this is a much wider opportunity to get fully involved with communications, tactics, the whole spectrum of skills that it takes to make this kind of operation successful.
At CFB Cold Lake, I'm Francois Arsenault for Shaw TV.